Hello, welcome to today's episode, another reminder note one. And today I have that really catchy title for you, right? Overthink Overthinking. And I like to invite you to overthink overthinking with me. I want to tell you a story. So, when I started this podcast, I was definitely overthinking. And I feel like I am still doing it to this day. When I see myself thinking about it, I just realize that there are a lot of worries, right? Because I think that when I see the numbers, for example, from this project, how many people are listening and how much time it might take to also build a solid listenership, that this might take forever or won't work at all. But as I know from my previous experience as well, from other projects, and what I see in the world in other projects similar to this one, is that things may eventually work out at some point. So you see how I overthink the whole process, which concludes in some unfavorable thoughts in my head, and I think, wow, should I really do that? Because I start worrying then. And this gives me the feeling that this may be not a good idea to continue, which leads again to even more overthinking. And if you ever had that, I think it's really important to observe it at first and to check out, to realize where the overthinking actually comes from, right? Are there worries? Are there unfavorable thoughts? Are there fears? Right? So to identify the source of the overthinking, what I also experience quite often is that's maybe another interesting topic for another episode. If it is when I'm worrying about something, right, I'm overthinking, for example, the podcast project. Is that a good project? Are there enough people listening at some point? I sometimes also misidentify these worries with intuition. So let me explain that for a second. When you're an HSP, you know that for sure. When you're someone who is a really deep thinker and you often overthink, you may have been in a situation where you felt your intuition pretty strongly. So you sensed that this, whatever you want to attempt, may not be a good idea, right? So for example, you wanted to, start a podcast or start an Instagram channel. You may also want to attempt a new job, or you wanted to move into a new city, or you wanted to travel somewhere to a new place, to a new country, or you want to attempt a relationship and you sensed in the beginning, there is something that's holding me back. There might be some fears. And you're not sure if this is actually your fear or if that's actually your intuition speaking there, right? Letting you know that this is not good for you. But focus more on identifying really quick where this actually comes from, right? Is that intuition speaking here? Am I just afraid of moving to a new city, of attempting this relationship, of starting this project? Or am I overthinking it? Because reality often looks like that. Maybe you had that before. When you sense that there is something in your way, may it be your intuition that signals you, oh, there must be something off, there is something wrong, or if there is a fear coming up and telling you, oh, that's maybe not a good idea to do that, or to go to that place, or to travel to that country, or move to that city, or whatever you do, then instead of intensely overthinking it, just carefully try to get closer to that kind of attempt you want to try, carefully just narrowing yourself and trying to identify in which basket to put that kind of sensation. Because in the end, quite often it's the case that things work out on a way different path than you did expect before, than you could ever have imagined. I think that was a quick rant about overthinking. Not pretty structured the episode, but just really spontaneous here, talking about some thoughts I just had about it. And if you enjoyed it anyway, definitely subscribe to the podcast here on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen. And I see and speak to you in the next episode.